episode of Be a Better Baddie. I am Quenisha, of course, your host, your coach, cheerleader, and fellow baddie. And today I have another baddie with me, Miss Sayany. Tell the people who you
Hello.
are. I'm so excited.
Well, hello, Konisha. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Sayany, and I am known as the Love Conflicts Queen. I have a show on IGTV called Love Conflicts, where I go live every Thursday at 9 p.m. and talk about topics pertaining to the betterment of relationships, friendship, dating, single life, entanglements.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm so tired of hearing about them.
I did a dissecting Will Smith and Jada situation this past Thursday, and that's it. I was done.
Mm-hmm.
But I do go live on Instagram and also on TikTok now with Love Solutions. And what we do is we have open discussions about the topic, and towards the end of the show, we come up with love solutions. So this way, if anyone that comes on the show, anyone from the Love Conflicts gang or Love Solutions gang,
yes,
they're able to, take whatever solutions that we all come up with, and they can add it or implement them into their own personal dating life.
Yeah, that's good. I remember when you started with, well, not when you started because I wasn't there for the beginning, but
It's okay.
when you had Love Conflicts and then Love Solutions was a new one. I love that you came out with solutions because like it's so easy to talk about conflict, but a lot of people don't want to actually talk about how to resolve the conflict because it requires a lot of reflection, I'm sure, because you are a part of the conflict. So
exactly. I agree. I feel like that's one of the reasons why, now I'm also offering, based on my experiences, I want to help people because the whole point of Love Conflicts was that it was born when I was in another relationship. And within this relationship, I started to basically be my own guru. While I created 6 years ago. I created Love Conflicts six years ago on YouTube. And I will admit I was a little ahead of my time because everyone right now is doing what I was doing 6 years ago.
Yeah, everyone's a relationship guru now. Yes, they popped up over quarantine, like 2020.
Yes.
Everybody was a relationship guru.
And the thing is, I don't consider myself a guru. I consider myself a relationship realist.
I like that.
The reason being is because I want to help people based off of my experiences. I want to help them avoid what I went through in my last relationship. So that's why I give tips. And now I have my Love Solutions business where, I'm a consultant. Like that's what I do. And I don't want to say I am an expert. I don't want to say that I am a guru because I am not. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to apply my solutions that worked for me and see where I can apply them into your life. And that's what I really want to do. I want to spread love, faith, and hope to everyone because I feel like a lot of people have the wrong definition of what love is supposed to be.
Yeah. I would say you definitely bring the realistic approach to it. Like when I tune into your lives, I'm like, this doesn't sound like fluff. Like she's talking about real relationships, like two actual people who come with their own flaws and insecurities and egos and trying to make it work. So that is definitely my favorite part. I like that you call yourself a relationship realist. That is very true.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about dating, of course,
Yes.
Something we both have experience with: interracial dating, intercultural dating. So I was thinking about this topic because on social media, I just seen so many hashtag swirl, hashtag interracial dating, hashtag everything. And I'm just like, I look through the hashtags, and then another one of my friends was just like, you and your boyfriend should start a YouTube because he's not Black. And I'm like, it doesn't sit well with me. That does not sit well with me. I don't like capitalizing on but I feel like it's a thing even with Black relationships. I don't know. There's no white love hashtag. There's Black love or interracial, etc. So it got me to thinking about it. And I was just like, you know what? I know someone else who is in an, I don't know if you would call it interracial or intercultural or both, because I mean, race kind of is associated with culture. But yeah, I want to talk about that with you.
Of course. I will say I do consider it both interracial and intercultural. The reason being is because I come from a Dominican background. My entire family is either Dominican or, you know, Puerto Rican, and they're mixed with other cultures. So I feel like that's the reason also why I'm able to, you know, to be comfortable with the fact that my boyfriend is Black. And for someone that doesn't come from or hasn't surrounded themselves around other cultures wouldn't be able to do something like that. It would be difficult for them to understand, okay, and that's just with any culture, you know, with any background. I feel like it's something that it's brand new. It's brand new. You've never had it before. It could be difficult. It could be hard for you to feel comfortable. So that's just one part. For me, I've always been into Black men.
The face, yes. You're like, that's it. Yeah.
You know, that
there's no other.
I'm sorry.
So with that, what do you mean? So I want to clarify. You mean Black men as an African American man or like Dominican guy?
No, African American men.
Okay.
So I've had my experience with with, you know, my Dominican men, you know, well, the men from my culture, Puerto Ricans as well. And I don't know, for some reason, I just really took on more to the African American man.
Yeah.
And it was a different experience for me where I was just like, wow, like I'm able to connect with them more for some reason.
Interesting.
It was very interesting. I was actually talking about this to my boyfriend the other day. Me and my boyfriend were talking about this, and you know, he would explain to me that if I ever felt uncomfortable when that would happen. And I'm like, well, at first, yeah, I didn't understand it, but I didn't stop myself because, you know, I just really enjoyed being around the African American man. And ever since, I was with someone for 10 years before my relationship now. So
my eyes just got huge. 10!
Yes, 10 years.
Ooh.
10 years. And, you know, I usually go for the chocolate, you know, and once I was single, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me try what my boyfriend calls waffle. He calls them waffle color African American men. And I'm like, I don't understand what waffle color means. He calls me waffle.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're waffle, right? Is that because I'm trying to think?
Me waffle. No, that's what he means. Yeah, he calls me waffle. So so I was like, okay. So when I explained it to him, he's like, yeah, so you were into trying the different type of African American men. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to experience that. So I did. Just so happens that my my boyfriend educated me in the whole like colorism that happens you know, within the Black background. And that's why I feel like it's important when you are in an interracial, intercultural relationship, there will be uncomfortable conversations that you need to have. And you need to educate each other, because if not, other people are just going to throw salt on what you have.
Yes.
Because it's against, well, lucky for me, I will say I'm grateful that my family is accepting of other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
In the Dominican culture, I have heard friends of mine that they had a hard time, where the fathers usually be like, no, we don't want anyone Black in the family. Like, it gotta be Dominican.
Another one of my friends is going through that. She's Salvadorian and her husband's Black, and her father still doesn't really accept the relationship because he's Black. They have a kid now, so it's like, you gotta.
So now you have to. Exactly. Now you have to. I'm gonna say that my boyfriend has heard the whole, brought me around, and once I leave the room, he'll probably hear like, why couldn't it be a Black woman? Why did she have to be Hispanic?
Mm-hmm.
And his take on it was, this is my lady, this is my woman, and you are going to respect her, because it is what it is.
And I doubt he was seeking, maybe, hopefully he wasn't, but he was like, I only want a Hispanic woman. Hopefully it was just like, like, you guys just happened to happen. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where I feel a lot of us go wrong, because we make these assumptions. And again, I'm just talking from my experience. I feel like these assumptions are made of, oh, well, he just dates Hispanic women. No, I do. I only go for the Black man. That is, yes, me.
Yes,
I do. But in regards to him, no.
Yeah.
He's he's open to date other cultures. I've tried to do, like, the white man, like, I've tried the Asian, and it was just like, what, I think it's better off if we're just friends.
I'm done.
But I had no issues at all. That's just what it was.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing some more insight about how you guys kind of got together and came together. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of like social media nowadays, like especially when it comes to Black men and lighter skinned women, it is kind of villainized, because it's like, this is my preference, or I just don't like Black women. They're too something, but this one is it. So definitely sharing that story, I think, is important to hear, because a lot of people may look at your relationship and be like, it's because she's Hispanic, that's it.
Yeah. And the thing is, he's very, how do I explain? He's very open-minded. And it's not like he says it himself. He says, I wish that just all women would stop saying that the Black man just, doesn't want to deal with a Black woman, because it's not true, because I'm not like that. Oh, because a Black woman is this, that he's like, I'm not like that. And I just feel like for those that are out there,
because they are the ones with the platform. Those are the ones with the platform right there. I'm like, can somebody else hold the mic?
Right. And it's like, if you don't shut up,
yes,
like, you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I can understand when, when a Black woman feels some type of way. I could sit there and understand her, because he's explaining this to me and he's educating me and he's letting me know, well, these are the reasons why.
Yeah.
But just imagine if I wasn't with someone like that.
I guess I can't. Yes. I know people who are. Yes, I completely understand, because it is, there are people who don't explain or even understand their own feelings. So it sounds like even like your boyfriend sounds aware of social dynamics, like everything, like but everyone isn't as privy to that knowledge, or I guess blessed to have that. I feel like it's common knowledge, but
it is, but people don't want to accept that.
Yeah. So good. So just thinking about like I wanted to talk a little bit about like the history of interracial relationships because, you know, of course, I had to do my deep dive research.
I appreciate that because you taught me, that article you sent me, that to me, I was like, I need to read this. Yeah. And how it came about, I'm like,
I was shocked.
I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. So before I get into the research, I would say, yeah, similar to, I've dated a bunch of different guys, definitely a lot of Black guys because I am Black. I will say most recently, my past few relationships, they have not been Black men. So my prior ex was white and Mexican, but he looked like light-skinned Black in a sense, you know? And now my current boyfriend is Filipino. So I'm a
girl.
I'm a hopper, I guess one would say. I don't know.
You're like spicy. I like it.
You know, I'm just like, I really, and I hate to say this because it sounds so generic. I just really look at the personality of the person, you know. I'm just like,
that's perfectly fine.
You seem to mesh well. And I will say, surprisingly, for the past few guys when I was dating, like in my dating phase, when I dated Black guys, they told me I was the first Black girl they dated. These are men approaching their 30s. And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be your first Black girlfriend as a Black man. Cause that's what. And I was like, I remember high school, no crushes, like no. And they were like, I was just shocked.
Wait a minute.
And I was like, I can't even like.
You sure they weren't like exaggerate? Like it was an exaggeration.
You know what? But even so, what is that to exaggerate about?
Because my thing is, so you're telling me from your teen years or from when you was a little boy, you didn't have a thing for the Black woman and you're Black yourself.
Yes. So I was like very, very shocked. Excuse me. So then also with my current boyfriend, and I've had like this conversation with him, he's never dated another Asian woman before. And I was like, initially I was like, how you hop over here? Here.
So it sounds like, I guess within cultures, depending on the culture, because, you know, and there are certain religion, cultures that have, you know, a certain religion that you could only marry and date within that culture.
Yeah.
So it seems like from your experience, they haven't dated anyone of their own. And I went through that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But not that deep, where it's like never.
I'm like, I think, well, at least with my current boyfriend, he said like he did have a crush on, like he liked Asian women, but he's never like been in a relationship with another one. And I was like, that's still crazy to me, especially because I feel like with Asian people, this is just a general idea I have. They date within their own race.
That's what
But oh girl, so let's get to the research. So even when I did my research, Asian people are more likely to date outside their race than any other race. Asian women specifically. And I could see this. And then when I was reading it, I thought about this quote when I was in college. I remember my first year, I was in orientation. It was this Asian girl, and she was like talking to another Asian girl. And she was like, yeah, white and Asian is the best mix for children. And that stuck in my head. And it literally popped back up to the forefront of my mind when I read that. And I was like, okay, I've heard that.
For children, though.
Yeah. Oh, let's later. That's another topic we need to get into because that's another thing. I'm just like, oh, okay. So let me look at this history. Okay. So interracial relationships were technically called, and I hope I'm saying this right, miscegenation. And I didn't like the definition, but the definition is the interbreeding of people considered to be different racial types. So the first law against interracial relationships was made in 1691. The fact that there had to be a law, I think, speaks volumes. Because at this point, it's only like white people, Black people in America,
Right.
right?
Right.
Native Americans too. I don't know where they were at this time. I'm not a historian, but yeah. So they had to make that law in 1691. If they found out that a white man was in a relationship, because it was most likely a white man in a relationship with a Black woman, the man had to leave Virginia because Virginia was the only state at that time. So he was kind of banned from the community. 1705, they had to up it, right? They were like, yo, y'all leaving, but y'all still doing this. So now you have to pay a tax and spend 6 months in jail if we catch you with another Black woman. Were they done?
Nope.
No. 1848, they said y'all still doing this.
Right.
Now you go to jail for 12 months, and this is still only for the white partner. Now you're going to jail for 12 months, you still have to pay a tax. It still did not stop. And I'm just like, nope. Of course, it was more so, I don't know. I could only imagine what it was like, but I know slave owners raped slaves. So I doubt that those were consensual relationships, but there had to be something, obvious. Yeah, there had to be something. So 1849, that's when I think an official law was made. So it specifically stated whites and African Americans were, and I quote, absolutely void. So they said again, please leave each other alone. Stop crossbreeding.
And guess what?
They weren't done. They were not done because now they started getting married. So it was no longer relationships. And I don't know how weddings were officiated then, but at this point, and I think this was 1873, the punishment for a marriage was what was it? Well, it was still a fine. And now they actually fined the person who officiated the wedding. And they were also giving money to the person that snitched. So they were like, we need a community to stop this. We need a community to stop this.
Insane. That is insane.
It is, because as I kept reading, I'm like, okay, when are the punishments gonna stop? Why does the punishment keep getting harsh?
And the thing is okay, you could keep sending these punishments, creating these punishments, but I feel like you can't control how you might feel about someone. And it seems like, of course, for the ones that weren't consensual, the ones that were consensual, it was just like, I really feel this way about you. So I'm not going. And I feel like also the white partner at that time knew that they had that power of, you know what, I am going to save our relationship. I don't care what anyone has to say. I'm going to go to jail. Yeah. Okay. 6 months. Okay. 12 months. Okay. What else?
True. They could have been getting out and be like, I'm going back.
Right.
I'm going back. But I think it's interesting that even with this, white people, the punishment, I can only imagine they didn't say, because I doubt the Black person was A-okay. They're naming the punishment for the white person.
Yeah.
They could have burnt, beat, tarred that Black person. We don't know what happened,
You're
so it's
absolutely right.
Black people are definitely still getting the brunt, I guess, of dating interracially. Thinking about even the social punishment even, but we'll get into that, the current social punishment. Okay, so let's see. So between 1865 and 1870, there were more than 20 interracial marriages. So America still was not that big. It still was not a full country. Before, it was just Virginia, the state. So now we're still kicking. People are still getting married. So until 1967, it was illegal to marry someone from the other race. So that's when we had the case Loving versus Virginia. Cute little story. I think it was a Black woman and a white man. So that year, 1967, when interracial relationships were legalized, and I'm going to link this article, all the articles I looked at in the show notes. Yes. But 3% in 1967, 3% of those marriages were interracial. 1980, it increased to 7%. In the last year that they did research on this was 2015, and it was 17% of newlywed couples were interracial.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it just kept increasing.
Yeah, it was okay, it's legal. I just can't get over the punishment, how they kept up in the ante every year. They're like, you
they
still
thought you still don't get it? No problem. I'm still go to jail.
Yeah. Like, because people were going to jail. For sure.
Of course. But again, when you have, it's just like the whole love, right? The definition of love is a deep affection. Is a deep affection, is a deep emotion that builds over time. So the fact that, no one is able to control them, not even the fact that they're going to go to jail, there's going to be a fine, it says a lot.
Yes.
So if only people did this type of research the way that you just did, and I mean, you educated me. And that's what I mean. It's like, it's so important to do this. Like, you don't feel some type of way about me. I don't feel no type of way about you, because we're open-minded. We're able to be mature enough to have a conversation and not feel no type of way and keep it real.
Yeah.
If there is something that I like this, I wasn't aware of the Loving versus Virginia, like the fact that they named it that, and the history behind it is so important. I really hope that when people listen to this podcast, that they actually do their own research and understand that it goes way, way, like years and years, decades, where they couldn't control their feelings, and this didn't stop them.
No, it did not. So I think that even when you said that, we are open-minded, another part of my research that I just thought about was they did a survey. Let me look down. Okay, so over the years, like, Americans have become more accepting of interracial relationships. But so in 1990, 63% of adults said they would be opposed to a close relative marrying a Black person. That's 1990. Then in 2016, that number dropped to 14%. But it's still even, they would be opposed to someone in their family marrying a Black person. Like, why? So what? And it covers so many things. The first thing that came into my mind is like, marrying a Black person would drop the social currency of another person. Because thinking about neighborhoods, for instance, Black people move in, the rate or the price of the community, right? It goes down in a sense, like. So that was very surprising, like that many adults would say that. So 2016 is at 14%. Again, in 2022, I'm pretty sure the numbers are lower. They should be.
Yeah.
They should.
I believe so. I believe so. Yes.
It should be. Let's see, a few more things that I thought was very interesting before we get back. We already said Asian people are more likely to marry outside their race, then Hispanic people, then Blacks, then white people. Okay. Black men are twice as likely as Black women to have a spouse of a different race or ethnicity, especially when they are college educated. Let's see. I think that was it. Was there anything else from the research that stood out to you?
It was mostly that, like you pointed that out. Like, for me, it was just so shocking how hard the laws were trying to just break the Black and white couple, the interracial couple, like break them apart, because they just, the history behind, Blacks being slaves and, well, African Americans, like they say in the history books, right? They talk about it, but they also don't talk about how, I feel like over the years, they started creating movies where you saw the interracial couple. You saw that couple that fell in love with each other. And no matter what, they just didn't stop.
Yes.
And it says a lot about the fact that it doesn't matter what background, culture, or skin color you have, or where you are from. the fact that you accept someone for who they are and you love them for who they are internally,
yes,
spiritually, I feel that's very important. And I hope that in today's world, like I just said, we need to do our research.
Yes.
And really understand that there's so much more to, and again, I could understand how certain cultures or backgrounds would feel some type of way when you date outside of it, because this is something that's been built for years within their own religion, within their own culture, where it's like,
structure.
No, you have to keep reproducing within, you know, within your background, within your race, within your race. And that is it. But I hope that in today's world, again, the fact that you're talking about this, and I really love the fact that you're doing this. I hope that when people listen to this, that they will understand, even, for example, like your friend, her father needs to understand, listen, I get it, but your grandchild is half Black.
Yeah.
There's nothing that
I don't
you
think
can
there are
do
going to be
about it.
any, like, I think majority of the population in 50 years is going to be multiracial or biracial.
Absolutely.
Like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you got.
So I have a friend of mine that is Dominican and Jamaican. She's Dominican and Jamaican. And when I tell you, when she tells people this, they're like, what? But she's like, yeah, my father is Jamaican and my mother is Dominican. And this was years ago when they met, you know what I mean? And they fell in love with each other. And this is what happened. So the fact that we're able to, you know, the multicultural is going to happen because you have a lot of people now, and a lot of kids that are being born now that are Irish. They're Irish, they're Black, they got Japanese in them. Like, it's a whole bloodline that you're just like, I can't do anything about that. So I can't do nothing about that. So how are you going to tell me that I can't date outside of my race? What am I supposed to sit down and choose and be like, well, I'm going to go and, okay, I can't date this person because I'm Irish, Black, and let's say Philippine, right?
Yeah.
I like, what are you supposed to do?
Some people, what are you supposed to do? But, you know, some people just stick to whatever they identify as and then they'll go with it, you know, even thinking about what that person's phenotype may be. So someone who's Irish, what'd you say? Irish, Black, Filipino. And we don't know what they'll look like. They'll find another mixed person, I guess, you know, just thinking, because it's weird. We're naturally attracted to people that kind of look like us or remind us of ourselves in some kind of way. So it is weird, especially when I think about it for me, because I'm just like, what is my type? Like, I had a solid type, I will say, definitely from 18 to 20, 25, 24-ish. So I definitely had a solid type, but I think that as I got older, I was just like, is that type actually serving me? Like, I'm chasing physical.
That was gonna be my question to you. Because I've read many, especially on social media, where I've read some people feel like other cultures are trying to like wipe out the Black DNA, the African American DNA, and which is why they go against the African American going to date someone like outside of their race. And when I read that, I just felt like, wow, like the fact that, you know, and again, when I asked my boyfriend about it, he educated me. And I could understand. I could really sit here and be like, I could understand. I really could. So I just want to ask you, you know, as a Black woman, do you feel that way? Do you feel like that's what, you know, like other cultures, like, or just what we call the white America is really trying to do?
Do I think there is an agenda, like a political
Yes.
agenda? I honestly, this is a side note before I get back on track. So, do I think there's a political agenda? Me, no. But watching these shows about like what goes on in the government, like you never know.
Right.
Like
Right.
you truly never know. Like I'm not a conspiracy theorist per se because it
Right.
can get too deep. But do I like
Right.
engage in a little conspiracy theory every once in a while? Yeah, I'm like, dang, that would make
Me too.
sense. And I'm like,
Me
okay,
too.
so
Right. Right.
I with me in my world right now, no, I don't think there's like an agenda, but it is a concern that I've had because I'm like, okay,
Mm.
I look Black. I have a child with you. My child will be mixed. And like, there's nothing, I'm still going to love my child, but I still want a Black child. Like, I still want to
Absolutely.
raise a little Black girl or Black
Of
boy,
course.
maybe, but a little girl, preferably,
Right.
you know?
You sound like
So,
me. I'm like, I want a girl.
yeah. So I've definitely made that clear. I'm like, I'm adopting a Black child that has 4C curly hair like mine. Like
Yes.
I want that. And I don't think that that it takes away from what I feel for this person or what I will feel for my boyfriend in the future as we progress. But
Right.
I see for myself a Black little girl, like
Right.
just that, and it is something that I'm like, is that wrong that
I don't know.
I would do that?
No. I'm gonna say this and respectfully. I I'm a very sensitive person when it comes to children.
Mm-hmm.
And I've experienced uh things at a very young age where I saw a Black child. She was African.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you I was her only friend, I was her only friend. I'll never forget her. Her name was Deborah. She was brand new from Africa. She was from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the third grade, second grade for Miss Motts. Yeah, third grade. So we
You
were,
never
yeah, I
forget
was like,
those teachers, those elementary
never.
teachers. Like,
Yes. So we were in third grade, and the way my parents raised me is you treat others equally no
mm-hmm.
matter what. You respect them equally. I don't care. Our parents raised us this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so grateful that they did. Because I was able to, when she would get teased, and even the teacher was racist towards her.
Not Miss
I
Motts.
Yes, Miss Motts
Fine, Miss
was a
Motts.
facts. Miss Motts was a white woman.
Mm.
She had bought Deborah for Christmas shampoo, deodorant. Uh-huh. That's why I said respectfully, because it is very offensive what she did. And when I tell you, still to the day of today,
Yeah.
I go back to that day, and it upset me so much that I remember she cried, and she came up to me and she goes, Sayany, do you not want to be my friend because I smell a certain way? And I was like,
Oh.
Deborah, I would never. And I remember telling her that I'm like, I would never stop being your friend. Like, we're
Yeah.
friends now. Like, we sit next to each other. And she's like, well, Miss Motts was really mean. Like, I don't understand why she's treating me like this. Like, she's not treating the other kids that
Deborah
way.
parents should have mopped Miss Motts with the floor. Like that's
So I believe that's what happened. And I
oh.
remember at the end of the year, Deborah gave me like a huge hug. And I remember her telling me, like, you were the most amazing friend to me, and I'll never forget it. And, we were young. So for me, seeing that in person and what she experienced, I was like, if I ever dated outside of my race and my man is Black,
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that my child knows you are Black. You
Yes.
are African American. You are Black. Like, I'm not going to take that away from you.
Yes.
At all. I'm not going to take it away from you. I am going to make sure that your father and I will sit down and have a conversation with you and tell you how beautiful your skin is, how beautiful you are as a person. And you have so much culture in you, you know? So that's a story that I'll never forget. And this is why I'm telling you, there is nothing wrong with the fact that you want your child to be Black.
Yeah.
Your child will say, yeah, I got Black in me and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a story I did want to share. And I know that when I have my child, my baby girl, my baby boy, just like you, I want that for my child.
Yes. Yeah. So definitely
Sorry,
like maintaining. No, it was a little, no, because that, especially with me being an educator, like I've seen other teachers treat children, especially when they are even Hispanic teachers, you know, like I
hate that.
I'm like, don't talk to, I'll take her. Like, don't do that, you know? So definitely I understand, like there, I feel like if you don't have a heart for children at all, like something's wrong. But
and the thing is, I got in trouble.
No.
Like, yes, I got in trouble, girl. I got in trouble because I told Miss Motts to shut up. I got up and I said, Miss Motts, you need to shut up. I told her just like that.
Didn't.
I said, you need to shut up and leave my friend Deborah alone. I said it just like that.
Miss Motts needed that.
Go to the office. She's like, go to the principal's office right now. You don't tell me to shut up, Baba. And Deborah was here cracking up. Yeah. She was laughing. And she was like, you're going to be fine. Don't worry. I got your back, Sayany.
As if she could do something. Y'all were two peas in a pod. No,
yes, that was my girl. And wherever she is, you know, I hope that she's where she's always wanted to be, and her experiences were that's not something that she's going to remember. Of course is something she'll remember, but I hope that wherever she is, she's had more amazing experiences where she's been accepted for who she is, like as a person, you know? Yeah.
And I think that because of I haven't had a story like Deborah's, but damn, like Miss Mott's probably one of the 63% of Americans that said they'd never allow their family to marry a Black person.
Yeah.
But just, you know, that's why it's so important to me to, I guess, maintain Blackness for me, like, and it'll lead me to my next point, actually, like maintaining who you are while you're in your interracial relationship. So I know for me, it has always been a thing. Like I don't know if you do, but you know, I sleep with headscarf on, maybe a satin cap. Like I protect my hair at night. And whenever, and wearing wigs, this was the one that got me the first time. The first time my boyfriend spent the night at my house, I had a wig on, and I was like, do I take my wig off, or like do I, you know, like what exactly do I do? So like I was honest with him. I'm like, I'm gonna take my wig off. you know this, like I feel like, you know, like he's seen my natural hair, like he's I change my hair like every month, you know, so I'm sure he's like something's changing, you know. So definitely that is a part of Black culture, like us changing our hairstyles, having so many options, etc. So for me, I was just like, if this is real, this is what it is. The wig is coming off, like I put a headscarf on, like this is it, you know. So I felt like leading up to that point, it was very hard for me because I was talking to my friends about it, because it sort of felt like I was exposing, like, I guess a piece of Black culture to someone else, you know. And I didn't know how it would be accepted, you know. And the same with him as well. Like he was just like, you're gonna think my food's smelly, like it stinks. And I'm like, I I'll never know.
I love
Like,
it. Right.
I'll never know.
Right.
Just show me,
Exactly.
you know. So I've
Just show
definitely
me.
seen
Right.
hesitation on his end too, especially with
Mhm.
food. And I'll admit some
Yes.
of it, I'm like, I'm not eating that. Like,
Yeah, right.
I don't I don't like the smell of that. You're right. But it's not
Yeah.
because it's your food. It's because
Right.
I just don't
Exactly.
I would never do that.
Right. No, of
So
course, of course. And I love that you said that. Because I feel like it's hard to just like you'll feel because everyone judges you, right?
mm-hmm.
You feel like, okay, this person that I'm dating outside of my race is gonna feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that, you know, my boyfriend had to explain to me, where he's just like, you know, I know you was with someone Black for 10 years, but it's like, you know, that relationship was different from this
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to educate you and I'm going to tell you, like, you know, this is what we do as Black people. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I loved that. I love the fact that he was able to be himself. And, you know, I've always loved soul food.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, okay, you know that part. But he's
Yes.
like, listen, I gotta, you know, he explained about how sometimes he does use, you know, his Vaseline or, you know, his cocoa butter. Like,
Yo, the first time he see me slather Vaseline, he was like, "Why are you so greasy?" And I was like, "This is what Black people do."
so,
It's always,
so
this
it's
is what,
like,
stay out of Black people business. At that point, this is where I am now. I'm like, stay out of Black people business. I'm not. It
right,
doesn't matter.
right, exactly right. So it's like when I first saw him, I had the same reaction where I was like, babe, why your face so? He's like, listen, this is what we do, okay? So mind your business.
Yes.
And the thing is, and when he told me mind my business, I was like, but why you gotta talk to me like that? He's like, listen. He's like, listen, I'm gonna tell you why, you know. And I saw that you know, that king come out of him. Like, you know why? Because what was that he told me? He goes, we are so like frowned upon as Black people that is like any little thing that we have. He's like, if you think about it, and he calls me mommy, like is his thing. He'd be like, think about it, mommy. Like when you go to, you know, when you see these other cultures like doing the braids and they got like certain swag and stuff, where you think that came from? Yeah. You know, he's like, where you think that came from? And I was like, you know what? You are absolutely right. He's like, yeah, so my Vaseline is all I got. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's like, my cocoa butter is all we got. Like, I'm going to be proud of the fact that this is what our people do. This is what my people do. And it is what it is. And when he said it like that, I loved it. Yeah. I loved it. I was like, as you should, babe, you know.
I do think I love that you said that. Yeah, like that is it. Like Black people are so judged by the outside world. It's like, okay, like you're kind of an outsider in a sense. So it's like, are you gonna judge me? But it was like, who cares? Like,
right,
go if you are going to judge.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, it was just the whole being Dominican and he understands a little bit, but he doesn't know how to speak the language, the Spanish language. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm bilingual. And I understand both languages, but he doesn't. So I need to make sure that he understands whatever it is that we're speaking about. You know, I have to also make sure he's comfortable. And even though like I listen to, you know, my merengue and bachata and, you know, I dance and
does he know how to dance?
He does.
Okay.
He does. Surprisingly. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, listen, I'm Black. We got rhythm.
That is true. But it's something about that hip movement. I just can't get. I can't get the hip movement.
Girl, listen, I got you. Okay. I got you at any time. I got you. But I'm telling you, I'm gonna come to Houston.
Yes.
And we're going to meet in person. And I'm, you know, I just can't wait to actually
I can't either.
for real. But yeah, maintaining your identity in a relationship is something that you really have to be comfortable in your own skin. Yeah. And if someone, you know, doesn't know about something, the way I was like, hey, why your face look like that? Yeah. And he was just like, hey, this is why. It was not an offense or anything like that. It's just the fact, like I've said before, you need to sit down and have these conversations. Yes. And you feel that's a reel I put up yesterday. When you feel when you could be your ultimate self in a relationship or in a marriage, is the best feeling in the world.
Yes. I agree. And even regardless of whether it's interracial / intercultural, like just being your full self, we all have these little nicks about ourselves. It's like, of course. Can I do this in front of people? Can I, like, you know? So I do even feel like, I don't know what you said, but in my head, a thought came like people, did you have Black friends before you started dating Black men?
Yes, always.
Okay. So always. I also feel like it's always like you have to be comfortable around other people in general. So even thinking back to that statistic about like how white people are less likely to marry outside of their race. Right. If you think about it, like, I mean, they are very isolated. And I'm thinking back to my college experience. I don't know what yours was like, but I went to a predominantly white institution in Massachusetts.
Me too.
You and okay, so you may get it. You may get it. And it was very much like, I remember like someone said something, well, all the Black girls always sing together. And it's like, all the white people are always sitting together and that's never an issue, you know, like no one says anything about that.
Talk about it.
You know, so it's just like, I feel like as a person of color, Black people, we are always expected to be more understanding and step outside and be more welcoming of people than white people are. So I could see why they would be less likely to marry outside of their race because, I mean, look at their friendship circles, you know, like I have a very diverse friendship group, you know, like all races, ethnicities, etc. So I feel like that's reflective in my romantic life, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. It does make sense. You know, I had went to, you know, a university where FIT to be exact. And at this time, it was years ago. It had to be like, I can't even remember. Wow, it's been years. Okay. But I remember first time I got there and everything was so superficial. Like the white women there, well, the white girls, not women, just, I feel like we're not women just yet.
Like, just still girls.
So, there's still growth. They were very like racist towards me. And I was just like, well, wow, you don't even know me from a hole in the wall. But then when I started hanging out with, you know, my Black friends, my Hispanic friends, and we're all like, you know, we were a crew. Yeah. You know what I mean? We were a crew. Wherever we went, people knew us. And they would be so jealous of that. And I remember telling this one white girl, I'm from the Bronx. So I'm very, like, we're always in survival mode. Yeah. Wherever we go, we're always in survival mode. We always have a guard up. Yes. And that's just by nature, because when you grow up in the hood, that's what you're taught. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be aware. And I remember this white girl had tried to put something in one of my friend's drinks. And I caught her. It was some liquid. And I believe it was, yes. And I caught her. And I remember I grabbed my friend's drink. I poured it on the floor. And she was like, oh, you're going to have to clean that up. And I was like, and you're going to have to get your beat. That's what I told her. I was like, and you're going to have to get your beat. Yeah. Because I just saw what you did. And she told me straight to my face. She said, well, try it and see who's actually going to go to jail. Oh. I was like, oh, that's how you want to play it? No problem. So you know what I did? I filmed her the whole entire night. And guess what? She had tried it again to somebody else.
Who the hell was she trying to drug and why?
Because she was just very envious of the fact that she was around friends that were only her friends because she had money. Because she had the Chanels, the Gucci bags, that's what it was.
It's like, how dare you actually be friends with each other and like each other?
Exactly. So she was like trying, it was so nasty and so weird. I was just like, why would you do that? And I remember she actually had got arrested for that. She got arrested. She got arrested. I was
a criminal. Like, a criminal is what she is. Yes.
Exactly. And ever since that day, no one would mess with us. No one would mess with us. Instead, they would try to be our friends. Because I was like, you know what? You do have a point. I might go to jail. No problem.
You were like, you know what? Smart. Because I know this system, you're right.
You're right. Exactly. Yes. I was like, you're right. And that's what I did. I filmed her secretly. I'm like having my drink. I would do it too. Yeah. But I'm paying attention. I'm like, and she was trying to do it to other people.
Yeah. Because I mean, they record us every chance they get.
Right. And she was only going towards Blacks and Hispanics. I swear. I was just like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now.
It's
can't believe it.
Yeah, it speaks to even when what is it? It's like, what was the word you used earlier? Like where I was on defense mode. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like you're in survival mode.
Survival mode. Okay, so it's just like that's been passed down in, I'd say, definitely African American DNA because we were in survivor mode. And you know how DNA is passed down generational trauma. Yes. And we will always refer to that with Black people or other people of color, like speaking to how our ancestors had to live and how we are kind of doing the same thing in the current times.
Yes.
But no one ever talks about how white people were hateful, spiteful, nasty, and that's passed down in their DNA as well. Like
yes, it is.
It's just like all that stuff has been passed down. So it's like we can't ignore the other side of the puzzle and act like it doesn't exist anymore. But yes, that was we here. Okay.
Yes, we are. Yes. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, we're just okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I appreciate you.
Yes.
I really do.
So with that, maintaining our identity, I don't know how we got there, but it's working, So do you think that there are pros and cons to dating outside of your race?
Yes, definitely. This is a difficult one because, again, I come from a Dominican background, and you will see, and I know you've seen, I know anyone that is listening to this knows that there are Black Dominicans.
Yes.
And when I say Black Dominicans is that they're dark skinned. Respectfully, not trying to be offensive.
Yeah.
And it blows my mother's mind. I will say this, and my dad, and my dad. So my dad is my complexion. My mom is your complexion, Quenisha. And their family were just like, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Because of the fact that everyone from my mother's side, they're dark skinned.
Yeah.
Everyone from my father's side are light skinned. So whenever they hear that anyone is being hateful, they'd be like, what are you talking about? You don't want somebody you don't want them to date someone Black, African American.
Yeah. Have you looked in the mirror? Have you seen your grandmother?
Exactly. My great grandmother was darker. Like her daughter is light skinned. So it's like, the cons of it is the fact that if you don't do your own research, if you don't actually like educate yourself and actually sit down, have a conversation with someone from outside of your race to understand the things that they've been through, you're not going to be able to actually accept the things that are going to happen around you. Whenever you go outside into the world and you're going on dates, you're going to hear people say things. You're going to meet people that are going to, like, their own friends. They're going to be like, you had to You had to date outside of your race. You had to do
Yeah.
this, that, and the third. And it's like, yo, but okay, we're now in a whole new world. Like,
There's
like
still the
my
same criticism.
it's the same criticism. And again, we can't erase history at all. We can't erase history, and we can't erase the way people think.
Yep.
We can't change that. But if we could change it within ourselves, within our own relationship, that's different. Keep it between you and this person. But you do need to understand that there are cons to it, where people are going to say, messed up things. You're going to hear it. You're going to be judged. But are you going to let that stop you?
Yeah.
No. And then the pros of it, like I said, is you're able to love each other for who you are.
Yeah.
The pros of it is being able to be that example that we don't care about what anyone has to say.
Yeah.
We're going to go out here and we're going to show the world that it is possible. And not because, we don't care, or, again, my preference has always been the Black man. So I'm going to exclude myself from the fact that, I've tried with other races, but it just didn't work out. So unlike my boyfriend, he's dated different nationalities, different races. So you could do that, but you could be that example. You could be that example of, listen, I'm not going to let all of these different things and opinions, change what we have. Instead, we're going to go out there. We're going to love each other for exactly who we are, because that's what we want.
Yeah.
This is what we want, that we respect each other. And we want to, not influence, but let other people know that it is okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely. As a pro, it's because I hate the fact that, like, when you say it serve as an example, I'm like, oh, I hate that, because it's like, you don't want to serve as an example for someone. Like, you just want to kind of live your life, and I always have to kind of, like, as an educator, remind my students, like, you going into college is not for you to serve as an example for anyone. Like, this is your life, so just be the most authentic version of yourself and let it happen. So I will definitely say that is a pro, like, especially if you're in a relationship where you can actually be yourself, because let's not act like there aren't people in any relationship, interracial or even monoracial, and they have this facade up and they're not themselves, so that is happening. And definitely
that's also a con. That's actually a con, especially this is something that I had to deal with at first, where I had an experience. Me and my boyfriend went somewhere, and I had understood that a friend of his, this was just me the first time, like, meeting certain people, and I had misunderstood that his friend's wife was Puerto Rican, but actually he was talking about how when he was in high school, he had dated a Puerto Rican. So then somebody else in the room, she got up and she was like, no, his wife is actually Black. And she said it like that. And I was like, whoa, like, I'm not even, so the fact that at that moment I got uncomfortable, and I was just like, okay, maybe, like, right there and then I was like, okay, maybe this is not going to work. Maybe there's some things that maybe I need to, like, change, or my approach, and I just started questioning so many things. And I remember taking my boyfriend outside and having a talk, because I was so upset about that.
You were like, did I do something, or?
Right. I'm like, so I asked him, I'm like, did I do something to, like, offend her or offend him? And he said, no. He said, you didn't do anything to offend anyone. And I just want you to understand this is gonna happen, babe. Like he's like, this is gonna happen, especially when you are stuck in this one mentality and you feel like the world is against you. And I need you to understand that it has nothing to do with you. And when he explained it to me, I was like, okay. So he's like, go back into the room. You don't have to change nothing about yourself. Be yourself. And that's it. I kid you not, Quenisha, later on that year, she had invited me to come out with her.
And you see, it always happens like that. Like whenever, what is it? It's just like the way someone treats you is just a reflection of themselves, you know, and how they feel about their position in this world. So it could have been that she was letting you know, like, no, Black queens only, don't come in here with all that. And then it was just like, oh, like, it's okay for a Black man to not, you know, be with a Black woman, you know? So
and that's how he explained it to me. That's exactly how he explained it to me. And he's like, just don't, it's okay. Like, don't take no offense to it. He's like, I don't want you to change nothing about yourself. And that is a con where you're going to go into different circles and they're going to look at you like, you might not be that way. You might not be that way because you're open. You get what I'm saying? Like you're accepting of others, and but you have to understand there's something deeper as well. And what you just said is exactly how he explained it to me. And I was able to be like, gotcha, understood.
Yeah, it can be definitely it can be scary to even go into those situations where you're around your significant others, friends and family, and they don't. So me thinking back to my relationship before this, he, like I said, white and Mexican, the family was white as ever, like white.
Wow.
So it was, mom was white, dad was Mexican, his family wasn't here. So every like family gathering was very, very white. And they did nothing and nothing explicitly to offend me. It was just like those microaggressions, you know, that I felt. And it also was just me being like, y'all ain't no spice in here nowhere. Like I just felt very uncomfortable, like being in a white house and just me by myself. And I was just like, this is very uncomfortable, you know? And sometimes it's not like I can never see myself dating a white man. Like I will date another person of color, as far as that, if I'm going to date outside, but that leap into white, like when I see Black women with white men, I'm like, you got to be strong for that, because that's a whole different level. Like even thinking about that white girl from your college and what she did, like think about the family she came from, like the privilege that comes with it. It's so that's one I don't think I could ever do. I just can't. Like I think that one, I mean, I see back in the day they had to try to keep the white men away, you know, but
they tried really hard.
But I don't think it could be me. Yeah, that one's a different one. I am interested to talk to someone who does date white men or has a white significant other, a Black woman in particular. And I see it. Yeah. Like how exactly did you, because white is the norm, right? Like when I'm talking about my boyfriend, he was embarrassed of his food because it's against the norm. I was embarrassed of taking off my wig because it's against the norm. So it's like, it's both of us like kind of like showing things that's against the white norm, but you're really being judged by that. I don't know. I don't think I could do that one.
Of course. And then you just said keyword, against the norm in regards to white.
Yeah, white white supremacy is the norm, right? If it's not white, it's not right. Y'all know I don't feel that way for real. But that's the way it is, you know?
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And that's why we have to take that power back. And the way that we need to do it is by taking mentally okay in regards to society, right? Mm-hmm. It's the wrong thing to do to date outside of your race. It's wrong. It is completely wrong, especially for like the majority of white families, you know. And that's a chain we have to like break. And that's why I feel like we need to, I really hope that at some point we can just break that chain and not have to worry about what you just said, serving as an example.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that's a very good note for us to end at. We've been going, and this was a great conversation. So at the end of each episode, I like to leave people with a reflection question or just something to think about. Do you have anything that you think would be like a good reflection question to serve for the end of this episode? Because I feel like we talked about so many different parts of not even just relationships, like romantic relationships, just like functioning as a person in society, you know?
Absolutely. I would say this would be for anyone that is having a difficult time wanting to date outside of their race. Mm-hmm. The question I feel would be perfect for them is, and in regards to reflection, really sit down and reflect. Mm-hmm. Really sit down and reflect on why you feel like you want to date outside of your race.
I love that. Yes, I absolutely do. So reflection question is reflect on why you want to date outside of your race if you feel like you want to, because sometimes Mrs. Me, also going back to the podcast, right? The Black men who have microphones. It's always, I don't want to date Black women because, I prefer white women because Black women are this. And it's like, no, do you prefer white women just because you like white women, or are you preferring white women in spite of Black women? So I think that's really important. If you're in that place where you feel like you want to date outside your race, why exactly is that?
Why? And let it be, I because that's the thing. Whenever I hear these podcasts,
we need to meet again, and we need to just do a reaction to podcasts. Yes, we
need to do that. I'm so serious, because if you see my reactions, you'd be like, don't, if you could go through the screen and punch them in the face, you probably would, Yanni. So, and really, when you ask yourself this question, don't just forget about what you've heard in the world. Mm-hmm. Do your own research within yourself.
Yes.
Period. Ignore everything else that you've heard or seen, or because the thing is, you won't know unless you try it.
Very true. And if you try it, you don't like it, cool.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I think one more that I'll add before we close is don't be afraid to even try. So it's not even like you wanting to. If you're on a dating app or a guy at work or something, he seems like he's flirting with you and you think you're interested, just try it. Like, be open to new experiences. Not even just dating, like you could be their friends. Like,
exactly. There okay. You go.
It's okay.
Start that friendship. It's okay. Yeah. Yes. I love that. Yeah. I love that.
So absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. We will definitely be having you back.
Me.
Yes. So
I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much getting on here, talking with me. And that was another episode of Be a Better Baddie. Bye.
Yes.